After spiritual awakening, it may seem like you have no progress or you feel like you are falling behind, but you're not. You're actually better than what you think you are. I want to emphasize on the word thing here because a lot of our suffering is caused by our egoic mind comparing ourselves to other people. But after awakening, you can't compare yourself to your peers anymore. It's like comparing apples with oranges. For example, during my spiritual awakening, I didn't have a job. I didn't have much savings, and I was feeling lost and depressed. If I were to compare myself to the societal measurement of success, I would have failed miserably. I know what I've been through was a reset I very much needed at that time. I needed to get rid of all my jobs and hit rock bottom to be really in touch with the spiritual side of things. If I perceive my situation with my spiritual lens, I'm actually growing. But since it's internal, it's not very visible to other people. So it appears that I'm much worse off. Whether you are better or worse is subjective. It really depends on what lens you are seeing it with. Are you seeing it with an egoic lens or a spiritual lens? Unlike the ego's perception of progress, the spiritual path is never linear. Before spiritual awakening, it's easy. You have a goal in mind and you work towards it. You can see tangible results and you know whether you are approaching your goals or not. For example, if your aim is to earn $1,000,000 and you have $50,000 right now, you can tell how far you are away from your goal. However, the spiritual path is not a straight line. Sometimes spiritual progress feels like you're taking 3 steps forward and 2 steps back. One moment you may experience a spiritual high, you feel peaceful and you feel connected. And then the next moment you may experience a dark night of the soul and you get really depressed and lonely. I still go through the dark night of the soul after my initial awakening. On the surface, it may feel like I'm doing much worse, but I know that every time I climb out of the dark night of the soul, I felt so much more connected with my spirit. My spiritual connection becomes so much stable and it lasts so much longer. I'm actually doing better than before. You must realize that your spiritual growth is not linear. It's not like after spiritual awakening, you'll just get better and better and better. Sometimes in your spiritual journey, it can feel like you're not progressing at all. Or maybe you feel like you're regressing. But I'm here to remind you that you are progressing. You are expanding. Each obstacle you face along the way is giving you the opportunity to release your egoic attachment and resistance. They are helping you to grow to the full potential of what your soul desires. You attracted this experience to you because deep down inside, you want to grow, you want to expand. And contrast helps you to grow. It helps you to become more aware of the differences between your spiritual self and your egoic self. And sometimes you have to go through these painful experiences so that you can share with others what you have learned. Like after my first dark night of the soul, I felt so compelled to share my experience in a book. And so I wrote this memoir called The Emotional Gift. And later I got into the momentum of writing and I published several more books. But I'm not saying you should create problems and suffering in your life. Like, dig a hole and jump into it and then climb out of it so that you have a story to tell others. I'm just saying all your experience, whether positive or negative, can be transformed to something meaningful for others if you perceive them with a spiritual lens. So how do we measure spiritual growth or spiritual progress? We can't compare ourselves with a mainstream person because the majority of the people are not in the vibration of the spirit. They are not in the vibration of joy, love, and freedom. So we cannot base on the number of people we attract or resonate with to determine how much we progress. I don't know about you, but ever since I have spiritually awakened, my social circle becomes smaller and smaller. I'm more picky about the vibration I want to interact with, and I don't have the desire to interact with most people. So we can't use the external or tangible result to determine our spiritual growth. We have to use our internal, subjective feelings as a measurement. Your spiritual growth can be determined by how aligned you are with your spiritual self. And you can tell whether you are aligned or not based on your emotions. Because if you are feeling fearful, overwhelmed, or resentful, this is definitely not the vibration of your spirit. It means that there is some belief or resistance you're holding on to that is blocking you from aligning with your spirit, from perceiving what your spirit is perceiving. Our higher self is always there, always available, and always ready to guide us. But we aren't always connected with our spirit. We have egoic attachment, past wounds that we need to let go of and deal with. And when we let go of them, we naturally rise up to the vibration of the spirit. And we will feel joy, love, and freedom. And that's why our emotions are a great indicator of how aligned we are to our spirit. But having said that, it doesn't mean that when you are in low vibration, you're not progressing. Your emotions are just a snapshot of where you are at any given moment in time. It's just like a GPS system telling you that, hey, you're going off track, away from your spirit, come back, come back. Negative emotions are telling you to steer yourself back in the direction of your spirit. And as mentioned, our spiritual journey is not a linear path. You will get out of alignment from time to time, but this doesn't mean that you're not progressing. Being off track actually helps you to get a better sense of where you're heading. And unlike goals, spiritual growth is not like once you achieve it and it's done. It's not like you feel joy, love, and freedom and you have no more desire. It's not like everything is perfect the way it is and you just become stagnant and you're just waiting for death. The thing with your spiritual self is you will never achieve everything you want. You keep evolving and expanding. You keep having new desire as you expand. Being spiritual doesn't mean that you remain stagnant. In fact, it's the contrary. When you are satisfied with what you have right now, your spirit will call you to experience more. There is no end to your spiritual growth. But when you're satisfied with what you have right now, but you're afraid to grow, you just want to keep everything the same, you just want to keep everything status quo, that is fear. That is not your spirit speaking. I know before spiritual awakening, many of us may be working very hard to achieve our dreams, our goals. We felt like we have to constantly be productive. Now that we have awakened, we can see how silly that is because we are delaying our happiness into the future. We are only allowing ourselves to feel happy when we achieve our dreams. It's like we are putting a carrot in front of us and trying to keep us motivated. But no matter how hard we try, we will never get the carrot. So now that we have awakened, we just give up on the carrot altogether and we decided not to do anything at all. We switched from this mindset of working very hard to not working at all, a dramatic shift. But I want to share with you a different perspective here. Instead of seeing it as a carrot dangling in front of you, which is the egoic way of defining success, why not see it as an exploration? You can see it as a rabbit following its instinct and finding carrots on the floor. The rabbit is called to go this way to find a carrot, and then it's called to go the other way to find another carrot. Rather than seeing the carrot as a motivator, see it as a pleasant surprise or a gift in your journey of self-discovery. Instead of choosing between two extremes like working hard and not working at all, just follow your heart and follow your intuition. Let your intuition guide you the way. If you are called to do something, just do it. And you are called to create something, just create it. You'll find something surprising along the way that is better than a carrot and way better than what your mind can think of. If you are in the isolation phase for a long time, it might be time for you to come out of hiding. Watch this next video to find out the 5 signs your hermit phase of awakening is ending.